Hey everyone, welcome to Yoga Moments. I'm Janice, and this is part of our photographer series. So if you're a wedding photographer, portrait photographer, whatever you have going on, this video is to support you. It is for the day of the shoot. So tips and tricks today that you can do to tend to yourself throughout your event, and hopefully at the end of it you won't feel shattered. Perhaps you might even feel really, really good. So I am decked out in clothes that if I were a photographer, I might wear to a formal event to capture everyone's memories. And I want this to be something that you can do in clothes like this or just in comfy clothes. It's a good practice to get into tending to ourselves a little bit beforehand so that when we're in the moment and we're getting all those pictures and all those photos and capturing everyone's, candid smiles and beautiful, beautiful moments, your body will naturally take over and say, don't worry, I got you. So whatever you're wearing is perfect. I'm going to grab some gear so that we can make this real, and we're going to dive right on in. All right, so as promised, we are diving right in. I have all the gear here that I have borrowed from my friend Meghan of Mirror Form Photography. I've got drop cloths and tripods and extra lighting equipment and batteries and smoke bombs and you name it, we got it. I've got a whole bunch of extra gear in every possible bag that you could imagine. Different lenses, flashes, and even just standing here, it's pretty taxing. So we definitely need to tend to ourselves to see if we can make this easier. So I'm going to set this down, and I did hold it for a minute or two just as we were getting started, and it does get pretty heavy. So congratulate yourself for all the work you put into your career. And of course, even just moving here is very different. I'm moving in a different way because I've got cameras attached to me. I have not adjusted this harness. Now, I borrowed this from a friend. I don't want to mess with her stuff too much. And so we'll work with what we have because that's what photographers do. You're always trying to be ahead of the game, prepared for everything. So let's make you prepared for everything. We're going to start with our posture. So a lot of times, we'll just pick this up. It's not sized correctly for me, but like I said, we're going to roll with it. And if we're, going for our shot, chances are you're leaning in. A lot of photographers lean in. They want to get that shot. They're moving side to side. They're stepping wherever. And as soon as we come forward, we start to ask our muscles to do a whole lot of work. So see if we can come up nice and tall, find some nice alignment. And by that, I mean, let's not come up nice and tall because you can see I'm still leaning forward. Let's send our thighs back. So they might not move too far, but you'll notice the weight has shifted. And you might notice a little bit of softening in the back of your legs, in your lower back, because you're not asking your muscles to keep you up here. Just the way your muscles are attached to your bones. They want to keep you safe. They want to keep you from falling forward. So as soon as we're leaning forward, your muscles are really working to say, hey, no, come back. I want to keep you safe. If we come back, we can press into our feet, lift up from the arches, and find this support and integrity through our entire lower body. So it should feel pretty stable, pretty good. And this is, again, something that with practice, you're going to have a body that supports you effortlessly. It's going to make your job a lot more fun. Meghan often says that at the end of stuff, your body can feel shattered because it's so taxing. And I get it. Just holding your gear for this long, I'm like, whew, this is a workout in every way. So with practice, so as you're doing the dishes or just walking around your house, see if you can press down into all four corners of your feet, lift up from the arches, find this integrity, and keep your thigh bones back. So they're stacked over, the weight is in your feet, not the front of your feet. See if you can evenly balance it. We'll lift up our torso, so navel draws in and up just a little bit, heart's gonna lift, and you don't need to really relax your shoulders because the cameras are already pulling them down. But see if you can release any tension from your shoulders. So it's a little bit of play around, see how it feels in your body. And as we do that, then we can start to bend our knees and go for our shot. So instead of leaning all the way into it, just bend your knees. It'll give you that little mobility, a little bit of ability to lean forward, and it should feel a lot better for you. So finding that integrity is really good. And what you're constantly going to be looking for is this lift up. So no matter what we do, if we're going to the side, if we're reaching, if we're leaning back, we're going to look for this lift up. And again, it's something that comes with practice. So we'll keep going. I'm going to kick off my shoes. Of course, you want to have shoes that match the occasion, but find something that's comfortable. So again, just to elaborate and play here, stretch your toes out, press into all four corners of your feet, and lift up from the arches. So all four corners of the ball joints of your big and little toe, and then both sides of your heel. And you can play with pushing all four corners in separately and notice how your knees move. So what you want is nice even weight, integrity coming up through the arch of your foot, through your kneecap, through your inner thighs. And then you should feel maybe like things aren't quite as heavy. You don't feel that extra kind of dragginess to it, pushing down to come up here. So if you need orthotics in your shoes, invest in good shoes. And with practice, your feet are going to get super strong. The muscles, the ligaments, the tendons, they're going to strengthen. You might find that you don't even need orthotics. I'm not a photographer, but I do work 12-hour shifts in critical care. So I'm on my feet a lot. Definitely makes a huge difference. And yeah, at the end of 12 hours, I don't feel tired. So it is possible. Practice that lift up. Gonna keep my outfit complete, slip my shoes back on. We're gonna work on our shoulders. So generally, with this weight here, the weight is being pulled down. It's because I'm stacked over top of my torso. So head over top of heart, heart over top of pelvis, and pelvis over top of your feet. Nice even weight. Again, play with that. And from here, take your moments. So even though you're busy, even though you're 5 steps ahead of everyone or trying to be 5 steps ahead of everyone, so you're there before that moment is there and you can capture it, take your moments. Find your breath. Open your shoulders if you can. So even just taking a moment, squeezing the shoulder blades together should feel good. And then you can find some softness. So really being mindful about where you're holding tension, shoulders, back, hands, and just finding some softness as you can. So, you know, while the ring bearer or flower girl are having a moment, or you're trying to find that one person for this photo, find your moments. Breathe, open your shoulders. You can rotate your neck. Tend to yourself. Those little bits, I promise, add up so much, and you deserve all of that. So practice opening the shoulders, and if it feels good, maybe you squeeze the shoulders together. So there's no right or wrong. It's about what your body's telling you and about what feels good in your body. In one of our other videos, we talked about hands, and we did a flow to work out the stress and tension in hands. Now, I don't have a table that's conveniently available for me, so I'm going to use a chair. Find a table. It doesn't matter if it's the DJ table, the head table, or anyone else's table. It doesn't matter. Or even a wall you can probably do this on. I'm going to use a chair. So I'm going to take my hands straight out in front of me, and I'm going to turn them sideways so that my fingers are pointing out. I'm going to bend my knees here, and yes, I'm moving differently because I have cameras on me, for sure. So I'm going to mindfully set myself up here. See if I can get my weight over top. So shoulders stacked over wrists. And I'm going to press my fingers into the table or chair or whatever you're using. Lift my heart up between my shoulder blades. Take a moment and play here. And then once you feel you've got settled there, you're going to press your right fingers all the way into the table, so much so that your heart and shoulders slide to the left. Find your breath. Press into the left hand, slide back. So using your hands to really stretch and create that movement. And making sure that you are breathing. And that's going to help release all the tension. So anytime we stretch, we're releasing the tension from our muscles. My hands already feel very, very different, a little bit awake and refreshed. And then if it feels good to you, you can turn the palms in and do the same thing. You're going to be very careful, very gentle. So I'm keeping this integrity in my upper body. My navel's drawing in and up. My heart is lifted. Pressing my fingers into the earth here. And by earth, I mean chair in this example. And again, very slowly sliding my weight back and forth. So we go more in depth in this in our yoga video for the wedding photographer, where it's a full flow. Lots of feeling good for the body. And again, little bits, we'll inhale, come up. Little bits at a time to tend to yourself are going to make all the difference in the world. It's not that you're going to do this once and just feel like you're a rock star. You are, but it takes a little bit of tending to, and you will notice a difference. It will feel so good. So our last thing is all of those stepping, reaching, you just want to grab that shot or this shot, and you're constantly going over things. You're constantly leaning in different directions. So to find support, we're going to come back to that lifting sensation. So if I'm, say, reaching over to the left for a shot, ideally I want to step my weight out, give myself a nice base of support. If that's not an option, if you're just leaning, legitimately just leaning, find that lift back from whichever direction you're leaning in. So it's going to help support you. It's going to take the work out of the opposite side of your body. And we'll play with this. So I'm going to come into a seat. I'm going to kick my shoes off, mindfully move, keeping my cameras safe. My cameras, Megan's cameras. And it's very different when you have all this extra gear. So that's probably not going to work. There we go. See, we make it work here. So explore this idea, and this is maybe the easiest way. You're going to reach up nice and tall, relax your shoulders away from your ears, and then exhale, come over to the right side. So right hand's going to come to the earth, left hand is going to stretch over. Now relax your shoulders, and see if you can push back to the left with your torso. So lifting up from all four sides of your torso, finding this integrity, and kind of giving that little push back. And just noticing how it feels. And if you want to explore it, you can collapse, but notice how it feels in your lower back and in your left side and in your right side. It probably doesn't feel as good. So find that lift up through the right side body. It's a little different when you're wearing nice clothes instead of yoga stuff, but that's okay. We play and explore. We'll inhale to come up. Actually take this all the way down. Whoop. We're going to reach up with our right hand, come over to the left side. So again, find this integrity in the left side body. And then see if you can spread it throughout your whole torso. So everything's lifting up. So this is the type of thing that's going to give you that kind of second nature sensation. You can play with both sides. See if you can relax any tension you're feeling. And then we're going to put our gear back on. And we're going to very carefully move. So you can practice that without your gear. For the sake of the video, we're just going to keep it all on. And then if we were to practice reaching over, finding that integrity in the side we're leaning to. So lifting up, in my case, from the right side to find our shot. So play with it, have some fun, and notice how you feel. So it is entirely possible for you to feel pretty good, probably really good at the end of the day. So like I said, long shifts, definitely taxing on the body is something that I do as well, not for photography, not with quite this much gear. But it's possible. My feet feel better. I can end a 12-hour shift without aching feet, and I know you guys can too. Play with some of these tips, work them into your life, even outside of photography. because it's going to help support you no matter what. If you have kids, if you just move a lot of stuff, whatever you have going on, it should feel really good. You deserve it, and with a little practice, it will become second nature. So find that softness, find that ease in your day and in your movements, especially because that's going to translate into your work, and you are going to feel amazing, and you're going to have amazing photos. So thank you so much from my heart to yours. Namaste.